Hey, Paul, good to see you. Hey, I was wondering, with how you've handled your leadership role this season, how productive you've been, to what extent have you drawn on how last year went in the bubble as motivation to be the best version of yourself?
Well, that was all to start this season off. Um, that was the motivation enough needed to end last year, coming into this season, that I needed to be better. And up to this point, it's just being who I am and who I've been.
Okay, we'll move over to Andrew.
Hey, PG, that was sort of what I was wondering too, but I guess to change tacks, I mean, this team has made so much progress, it seems like this year. You guys talk all the time about just being more comfortable around each other and Ty's leadership and on and on. What's it like sort of knowing that ultimately it seems like with a team of this caliber, what you're going to be judged on is the postseason success? Like, is that a burden, or is that what you sign up for essentially?
I mean, that's just what you sign up for. That's the nature of the game. That's what you sign up for. And I mean, ultimately, that's what we plan for. You know, we're playing to be the last team standing. And so at the end of the day, it's a burden. Every team at this point has to kind of go against. You know, it's a journey, and it's one that we're willing to go through.
Okay, we'll move over to Law.
Hey, Paul. Last year, not to keep going on with the bubble, but you opened up and were quite vulnerable about mental health and your approach to taking care of yourself, not just physically, but in that aspect as well. Over the course of this season, like, how have you kind of applied what you opened up about last summer to ensure that like you're in the best place, not just physically, but mentally as well throughout this year and going into this postseason?
Well, I think this year it's been easier because, you know, I have outlets. You know, I'm able to live a normal life. I can go home, I can see my family, I can spend time with my family, I can, you know, interact with other people outside of this team. And so, you know, that alone it's just been a big difference to be back to like some, you know, normalcy. And so it's a big difference from, you know, the bubble life to where I'm at now from a headspace standpoint.
Okay, we'll move over to Miriam.
Hey, Paul, good to see you. Ty Lue's been talking a lot in the last couple of days about, like, as far as he's concerned, life presents pressure, and basketball is just, you know, even though there is pressure, like, you guys, this is what you guys love to do, and this is supposed to be fun. Is that something he talks about with you guys? Is that the kind of the vibe you get from him, and how is that helpful?
Yeah, I mean, T. Lue, that's you just one of T. Lue's greatest traits as a leadership standpoint, and as the head of this team. You know, he just a person that's pretty even killed, right? Split down the middle. Never too high, never too low. Pressure comes with this game. It's a game. It's a competitive game. It's a tough game we play. But you know, that just comes with it. There's people out there that deal with a lot more pressure than what we deal with. That, you know, we put ourselves into this kind of pressure. It's pressure out there that people deal with that they, you know, just have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, it's just a part of the game. There's a winner, there's a loser. It just comes down to who's prepared and who's ready, you know, again, to be the last team standing.
Okay, we'll move over to
Hey, PG, what up? Kawhi said yesterday he's pretty confident in this unit. He feels good about what he sees. He said at this point now, it just comes down to between the years. I was wondering what you think that means to you of just like, you know, at this time of year, your successes, the team success is going to be determined by what between the years.
Yeah, it's a game, you know, it's a game that we play. And, you know, it's going to come down to the mental approach. You know, this is a chess game at this point. And I think that's exactly what it means.
Okay, we'll move over to Cameron and then Chuck Cooperstein.
Hey, Kawhi. No, excuse me. Hey, Paul George. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry, boss. I want to ask you, after the Knicks game, you mentioned kind of the challenges of getting ready for the early morning games. The games are scheduled. This one's here is at 1:00. It's a little later, but how does that preparation for an early day game versus a evening game? How does that? How does your preparation change for those games?
Well, I think it's just trying to get my day started earlier than usual. I think the biggest thing is just those mornings, getting the body ready to go that early in the morning. And that's really the biggest thing. Just starting your day off earlier, getting, your routine done earlier. All of that just comes into play on these early games. And it's an adjustment when you're playing that early opposed to, you kind of have the day, wake up, move around, have your breakfast, your lunch, then you're getting ready for the night game. So it's a bit of an adjustment.
Okay, we'll take two more questions, move over to Chuck, and then end with Kari.
Hey, Paul. Was wondering how different, if it is indeed different, does this series look from the series you played last year?
How does it look different?
Yeah. Or are there things that you're doing differently? Are there things that they're doing differently that you feel like you need to counter? I mean, how much different will these games look this year, do you think, as opposed to last year, which obviously was a pretty competitive series?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We haven't played a game one yet, so I don't know how much different it's going to be. Can't really answer that one.
We'll move over to Kahari to close out.
Hey, what's going on, Paul? You had mentioned that people deal with pressure, more pressure than what you guys have to deal with, So how do you kind of use your game to kind of help make an impact on people dealing with bigger pressure than what you all are dealing with?
Well, I mean, it's a game that we play, At the end of the day, we play a game. And I think that's what, when this world was going through the pandemic, is one of the reasons sports was going to be most impactful, is because it took a lot of, the anxiety, it took a lot of depression, it took a lot of people just being in a dark place with nothing to watch, nothing to kind of keep their mind off of it, or, nothing for people to look forward to. And so, to your question, I mean, I think, me playing my game, doing what I do, doing what I love to do, there's fans of mine out there that enjoy to watch me play, enjoy watching me perform at a high level. And so my job is to, do just that, play at an elite level. And, hopefully by that, it takes the pressure off them. And then, it brings some bit of, something that they can pull from it, and something that they can use as motivation.